Well, good morning, everybody. I'm Jan Erickson from Stepping Aside, and welcome to Somewhat Daily Tarot and Rune for the second day of November 2020. Well, I started this once, and I don't know, at about 6 minutes, it just stopped. One more last little hijinks by Mercury. It's stationing today. It goes direct, I think, actually tomorrow, but my calendar is popping up going, oh, it's out. We're out of Mercury retrograde. Well, yes and no. There's a little shadow effect for the week afterwards, and so if you're really concerned about it, I wouldn't be signing any contracts this week. But anyway, I think it goes actually direct tomorrow. Well, what did my software say? It was, when I looked at it a little while ago, it was like 22 hours and 49 minutes is when it actually happens. And so it's tomorrow technically. It'll be actually back to its direct path until the next time. Mercury does this 4 times a year rather, and so we I think we're the last time here. I don't think we have any more time left in the year, do we? We shouldn't. So we'll start again next year with one sometime and do it all over again. Hopefully it loosened your perceptions enough that you could really consider what's happening here, vis-a-vis the election. And if you haven't voted and you still can do that today, then I urge you to do so. I don't know. Some places cut off early voting after a certain point, and I don't know if that's true everywhere or if it's state by state. I don't really know. We've been voting by mail for the last 22 years here in Oregon. I didn't do it by mail this time. We took it to a drop box. We got it, and within the hour we were back uptown and to the drop box, and we dropped it off there, and we finally got notification that they had it. That was nerve-wracking, because I was expecting to find it at the end of the day on the website, and it wasn't there. I'm like, oh my God. And so I don't know how often they come and collected them there in the beginning of because the 19th was the first day we could drop them off in the drop-off boxes, and that's the day we got them in the mail. And so I think that, or maybe we could do it the day before, I don't know. But anyway, we did it that day, and finally it came up on the website, and it's like, oh, thank God. So anyway, normally I don't care. I just put it in the mail and expect it's going to get there, and it does, right? So, but now we have hijinks with the mail. It's illegal. It's like they never stop to think that when it's all said and done, who's going to come knocking on their door saying, I'm here to arrest you, right? They never think that they're ever going to get in trouble for any of the things they do. All this illegal stuff that's been going on. They think that they're out of the woods, right? Because it's fine. Because they're the ones doing it. So it's fine. No, it's not. So you have to wonder, I've read these things where they're worried about, the staff's all worried about where they're going to work next. Because usually being in government is a pretty cool thing to have on your resume. But they're finding it's not so much working for this guy. So whatever they were banking for their future. No. The cushy jobs they could have had, they likely won't. So I guess that's what happens though. You make your bed basically, don't you? You really do. So anyhow, I in the first one, I did my pendulum to see. I've been telling everybody that my pendulum, well, not all the time, but now and then, I've been telling people that it's when I ask, it's no. Is he going to win the election? No. No is this way. Yes is this way. So no. Every pendulum, I'll go just for laughs. I'll go and I'll gather all my pendulums together. I don't even know. I got like a dozen. Every one of them says no. So I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful. We'll see. We'll see if I just have a demon operating my pendulum for me. But we'll see. We'll see. Hopefully, no. We can't take any more of him. The room for today is Gebo. And that's balanced energy exchange with others. Now, Puella is the geomancy rune. And that's a little more, it's positive, but think little girl energy. So it's scattered and flighty and just kind of, wanting to learn everything and know everything, and very curious energy. But just think scattered, because they're all excited about life and about exploring things and learning new things and all of that. So it's kind of a positive direction, at least, that we're setting for today's reading. If this is your first time here, welcome. I chat a little bit while I shuffle and get everything going here. The esoteric influences are up both in blog form over at Stepping Aside, also in video form, both on YouTube and on the blog itself. I post these videos over on the left side panel, and so this will go up there as well when I'm done watching it and getting it all uploaded. That takes forever now. It's amazing. I think everybody's on YouTube now. But anyway, the bind rune for the week is also up. I posted both of these over on Medium as well. So if you want to check those out over there, they're there, as well as on the blog, although I'd rather you come to the blog. Just so you can see the blog. I'm pretty proud of it. I've been doing it since the end of 2012, so it's gotten quite big, as things tend to do. So anyway, let's go ahead and take a look at our cards for the day. We're going to draw 3. If we need more, we'll take them. Oh, and if it is your first time here, I'd love you to click subscribe and come back and join us. I've cut these back to 2 a week instead of Monday through Thursday. I'm doing them Monday and Thursday because I'm putting I want to do a different video during the middle of the week on herbs. And so we'll see how this goes, though. I may go ahead, like I said, I don't know if I said it in this one or the last one, I may go ahead and do this tomorrow again on Election Day, just to, give us something to think about if you're not having to go out and vote, if you're not, voting on Election Day itself, which I guess people still do. It's not everybody that has vote by mail the way we do, but still, it went in the drop box. I didn't mail it this time. Jeez, can you believe all that nonsense? Anyway, hopefully we're gonna move past it tomorrow, and I realize it won't be immediate. There's a couple of months there we have to wait, 3 months or whatever it is almost, but at the same time, hopefully we can then get things back in a direction where we can heal from the virus, where we can make better choices, and to where the country is again going in the same direction, maybe, or maybe can start to go in the same direction. I think that when you witness and live through chaos, you realize that it's not workable, and that a shared path, even one we argue about, is better than what we've had. I mean, don't you think? I don't know. Anyway, let's take the cards and see what they have to say today. And I take the 13th one each time for randomness sake, in case my shuffling doesn't, gives me the same cards I had the day before, which trust me, happens. Anyway, we have the High Priestess, card 2 of the Major Arcana, sitting between the Pillars of Solomon. With the, if you could see what's behind her, that's actually pomegranates in the shape of the Kabbalistic tree of life. And let's see what the next 2 cards are. If we need more, we'll take them, but we'll first look at 3 and see what they have to say. Usually that's enough, but sometimes we need more. It's like, okay, what really is about that? And then we'll take another one. Well, we have the Sun. Card 19 from the Major Arcana. That's going to be a 1 energy of new beginnings. So maybe we have something to smile about. Because theoretically, this reading's for the next 3 days. So unless I decide to come back tomorrow because I'm too stressed out to do anything else. Right? I was like, oh no, I have to come here. This is my place of solace, believe it or not. Well, the Knight of Cups. Do we dare suggest compassion returning? Let's take a look at the major cards, though. In a sense, when we look at both the High Priestess and the Sun, if you think of the High Priestess, let's think of the High Priestess as the goddess of the moon, all right? When you have the Fool, all right, you have the Fool that comes in, right? And that's an androgynous individual. It's not yet, doesn't know gender yet. Not until he takes the leap into form, and then the gender it happens at that point. So at this point, he's wholeness and unity. That's why he's card 0. So he's wholeness of spirit, getting ready to jump into form, basically, and incarnate. And then once that happens, you have the Magician and the High Priestess that together, the Magician creates the outer, as far as I'm concerned, and the High Priestess creates the inner aspects of self. All right. Now, with the High Priestess, though, you're talking about intuition and the feminine divine. You're talking about balance. She holds the Torah on her lap. In other words, the word of the Creator, the word of God. 2 indicates balance, and it can also indicate decisions. But she's resting looks like her right foot, maybe. She looks like she might have her legs crossed, although I can't tell. Let me see. Yeah, there's no way to tell because but it kind of looks like her right foot is sort of at least the bottom part of her leg is angled over, and her foot is resting on the moon, the maiden moon below. That would be the moon in her maiden phase. You see the triple aspects on her crown of maiden, mother, and crone. And technically, we're in the crone phase of the blue moon right now. You're dealing with, in the crone phase, you're dealing with bringing things. When I work magic on the crone moon, I'm doing is I'm bringing things into focus, and it's like, okay, this is what's going on, and this is what we need to do about it. Enough's enough. It's that type of an energy, really. But here you have the shadow side of self and spirit that could indicate the black and the white pillars. You could also think of the receptive and projective presence, light and dark. So the void, and then physical existence. So you can look at it that way too. You're still in the manifestation stage of existence when you're dealing again with the Magician and then the High Priestess. The Magician comes first, and then the High Priestess. And so basically, whereas we're having development of will with the Magician, with High Priestess, we're developing inner wisdom. You could look at the black side as the feminine or negative, and not negative being bad, but in terms of positive and negative. Receptive is the negative, and positive is projective. So it kind of tells you the type of aura that's at work. You've got a drawing in aura would be reflected by the black pyramid, and a push type of an aura would be reflected by the white one. So you see that inner balance that's being struck. And, she's also about change and alignment, and again, inner vision, revelation, compassion. And then we have the Sun, new beginnings, the 19th card, or card 19. You see the child on the white horse, all nude, and the white horse all depict purity. We see the orange-red flag, victory, success. We see the sun shining above, its rays going everywhere, signaling vitality and something new on the horizon. We see the sunflowers behind, almost trying to tilt their heads up to the sun, aren't they? You can kind of see a little bit of an angle there, a slight angle. I grow sunflowers in the summertime, and I watch them follow the sun. Basically, the head follows the sun through the day, and it's really interesting to go out there. It's like, okay, where's it turn now? And you always know, because it turns. And then when it gets super big and it starts hanging over and it's dropping seed, well, it doesn't really do it then. But until that time, they turn. But the sun, basically, what you're talking about there again is represents the first house of the zodiac. It represents your sun sign. It represents, in esoteric astrology, it would be your rising sign that represents the soul's purpose. But in terms of the personality, your sun sign, I'm a Libran, and so I'm about balance and fairness and justice and is everything gonna be in alignment, and no deception, and all of that. When you sort of link that together with being an empath, then you end up with both intuition and empathy, empathic awareness. And so it's one of those double-edged swords. It's like, okay, I get it all in a flash, and then it's like I got to go back in and think, okay, now what was that? And try to discern, that's where the intuitive part of it, I think, comes in. But the empathic flash of it all is just like, whoa, what was that? Who's by me? Who's sending me something, or what have you. But yeah, I mean, it's almost like you've got, almost with the high priestess and the sun, you could almost look at the high priestess as, I know high priestess is intuition, but I don't know. I mean, one of them is probably the empath's card. I would say the high priestess probably is the empath's card, and then intuition might be the sun. Clarity coming in, and you're intuiting now on this level, what's really going on the level of the body, of the level of the incarnation. But spirit wise, that's the empath. That's coming from spirit. Everything, that the creator expresses is love based. And so what you feel is spirit, right? What you sense, intuition, that's more putting the mind in sort of aligning it all together and then trying to figure it all out. And I always look at intuition as what happens after you incarnate. But the empath aspect of self is really the soul in higher self influencing what you're being aware of. And then from there, intuition takes over. Is sort of how I see it. Now, others may see it differently, but that's how I see it. That's how I divide the two, basically. But then we're looking then at the Knight of Cups. Where are we going to go with this? We've got a new day. We're functioning off empathic and intuitive awareness. We know the path forward. We know the decision. We know the balance. We know the harmony. It has to be based on compassion and love and all of that. We know that from these two cards. But then it solidifies it by the direction we're going. We're going in the direction of the future here. Is visors up. Now the knights are about, whereas the pages or princesses or whatever, depends on the type of deck that you're looking at as to what some of these cards are going to be titled. I know there's one where and I don't know, is it the Thoth deck? No, I don't think so. At one point, somebody is calling the king actually the knight. But in any event, the knight is after the page, and so whereas the page is a student, the knight's already gotten that out of the way, and now the knight's going on his grail quest. Now he's going out and about, and he's making his way in life, and he's doing what he's doing, but in this case with cups, you're looking at emotion, you're looking at the water element. You look up here at his on his helmet, you see the winged sun. Well, that's indicative of healing. And his horse is about to take a step over a winding little stream there with an offer of compassion. It seems like, that's really what's been missing, isn't it? Is compassion. Instead, we listen to endless nasty comments, endless taunts, endless this and endless that. And there's no real desire to be integrated with everyone. There's no real desire to understand that when we see another person, that what we're really seeing is the other side of self, and not an other, someone who isn't like us. There's aspects of ourselves in everyone we see. And I think that when we we basically project our vision of our own existence outward, which is what we do when we incarnate into form, we then have our existence laid out before us, but it isn't by somebody else's hand, it's by our own. So think about that. It's really by our own. And so what is it that we came into this life to learn about and to experience? And if you think about it that way, and then you look at everybody around you, particularly those that you're not particularly comfortable with, well, what about that informs the overall theme of your life? What is the struggle that you're here to experience? Or are you here to experience a struggle? Some of us aren't. Some of us are. And I know from my own experience, I must have chosen something really, difficult. So given my life. But if you look back over it, you can see kind of a regular theme that it's like, okay, I didn't learn that lesson again. Here I am. Okay, I'm having to deal with this nonsense again. Well, it's because you didn't get it the last time, right? That it came up. Or maybe you did, but it's just sort of giving you another try to make sure, right? Because because that's why we come here, is to learn this or that we decide before we incarnate. We decide that theme. We get everybody together, the players in the game. And likely they're part of our soul group, and likely they've been with us in many, many expressions of life. So, but maybe in one, they're your mother, and another, they're your father, or then they're a brother, or they're a friend, or they're the guy that just sort of wanders by and says something profound that changes your life. You don't know, except that you do know. You just don't remember. But that's what this is all about. It's all intentional, to come in, to learn something specific that happens in a more generalized way, so that you can spend that lifetime learning it and then being part of other people's existence as well. So you look back on just the last 4 years and you see how the world is worried about this country. Now, the world, people that live other places, they're worried about what's happening in this country. And I realize some of them may have a love-hate relationship with the United States, but at the same time, we represent something here. And what we don't represent is what we've had over the last 4 years. So when you see the high priestess, she's asking, listen to that inner voice that's telling you that this is true. This isn't who we are. If you have a chance and you haven't voted yet, do so. And make the change that we need to make so that we can come back into a shared path together. So that we have a new day that's based on vitality. So we express the balanced energy exchange with one another. You almost have an expression of Gebo within the sun there. You can see, if you look at this one, this one, this one, and then this one that's hidden by the flag, you have Gebo, which is balanced energy exchange with others. And if you look at that, what you have with Gebo let me write this out. Well, if I can hang on to a pen. I wonder if this one works. This one might work. But here you have Gebo. But in truth, what you have is Kenaz in all directions, which is the light of spirit and higher self, you see? And that's really what you have when the light returns, don't you? And we have a new way forward. And one that's that's compassion and healing, instead of vitriol and nasty, awful comments. Can you imagine? Fire Fauci? Seriously? To hear the things that this man, who lied to get out of going to Vietnam, who couldn't be bothered to serve 5 times. 5 times someone else took his place. Did they come home? Did they come home intact? One could argue none of them did. I know, I'm married to a vet. You don't realize until you have that experience. Let's do one more card. The direction is into healing and compassion with the Knight of Cups. That's the Grail quest that we're on, isn't it? To find that harmony, that unity, that unified expression that's been missing for the last 4 years. Some say it could have started even 10 years ago, where the nastiness and the I mean, it's icky energy, you know? I mean, it really is. To hear some of the stuff that comes out of people's mouths these days, it's just the most disrespectful situation I've ever seen. And it doesn't do anything to bring us to where we need to go. The 4th card today will be the Queen of Cups. Again, cups and healing and the water element and emotions and love. Here we have a queen that's sitting right next to the water. Her cape actually becomes part of the rocks below, as you can see right here. You can see how it just sort of merges in with the well, it looks more like a river rock, really, but you see the cherubs up on her throne there. And she's gazing at a beautiful ornate chalice. She's contemplative, and she has a compassionate inner focus. She's an empath. She's the natural witch. She's somebody that really embodies the feminine divine. We think that it's the king that's in charge. He is not. Without the queen, he has no balance. Without the queen, he has nothing to cushion his out-of-control attitude. The same when you look at the Empress and the Emperor. The Emperor doesn't come first. The Empress does. The Empress gives birth to the world, aided by her consort. All right? That's all he is. He's just a consort. But she's the one that defines I mean, she's Mother Earth. She defines everything about us. And then we start dealing then with issues of control with the Emperor. But with the Queen of Cups, it's almost like she's contemplating what was. Given the direction she's sitting, she's contemplating what was and what can be with the Knight. Coming into alignment with the concept of love and compassion for others as she gazes gazes at the ornate cup there. Let me see if there's anything I'm forgetting about her. Yeah, I mean, she's reflective, and she's about healing. on the ill-dignified side of it, she might have a little trouble setting boundaries. She might love a little too much. But at the same time, I think I would rather have that than the harsh, dictatorial, authoritarian type of experience that we have now. So again, if I don't come back tomorrow, and I don't come back till Thursday, but I think I will. I think I'll probably do one of these tomorrow. Just a quick one, just to see where we are. Understand that we need to come back into harmony with one another. We need to let the wounds heal, and we need to let compassion drive the moment. So if you haven't voted, please do. If you have, thank you so much. And if I don't see you tomorrow, I'll see you on the other side. But I think I will. I think I'll come back and just do a quick one and see what the cards are, just to have a little point of centering, for at least for myself. So anyway, thanks for watching, and click subscribe. I'd love you to do that if you haven't yet. And let's grow this family and see what we can do when we don't have to talk about what's happening in the country so much, when we can just talk about how we get through our day a little better than the way, and have some interesting things to think about as we do. So anyhow, won't that be nice? We don't have to worry about the president anymore. Oh my God. Anyway, thanks for watching. Be good to yourself. Be good to one another. Wear a mask if you go out around anyone at all, whether you're inside or out. A mask, not a face shield only. A mask. And blessed be.